It's a me, a hungry boy. I want to eat the pizza, but I don't know how. I only have the cauliflower, and I don't want the cauliflower. You understand? I want to order some pizza, but all of the apps online are so hard to use. That's right. Today, we are redesigning one of the most world-famous tracking interfaces, or at least famous in the US, the Domino's pizza tracker. Domino's is my go-to pizza chain because I have celiac disease, and they're the only modern chain that has a regular, decent gluten-free crust. So whenever I'm feeling the hankering, I'm generally popping off to Domino's to get some noms. But I just recently did order a pizza through Domino's using their tracker online and noticed it was quite hard to use. There were lots of kind of engineering problems. The page kept refreshing, crazy stuff going on. So we're going to redesign it. As you'd expect, I'm very bitter with my redesigns these days. Whenever something annoys me at all, it gets featured on the channel. But here I wasn't able to actually capture the full flow of the tracker because I wasn't recording my screen when I ordered the pizza last. And I'm on a diet, so I didn't want to tempt myself with another pizza for the sake of the video. But I was able to get a couple of screenshots, as you can see here, from various parts of the flow. And just trying to get a feel for like what's wrong with it, right? The main thing I've found is that they really lean on the uppercase font, or excuse me, the font that they have for Domino's, and it's a beautiful font, but there's just lots of big uppercase lettering, which kind of pulls my attention all over the place. It's a big centered experience, so if I have to do anything else on this page, I'm kind of scrolling down to figure out where the other controls are. And overall, just the sizing of various elements is just way too off. Like this track your order thing is really tiny relative to the actual Domino's tracker itself. So there's just a pretty significant contrast. Obviously, they want me to focus on this. But what if I'm trying to use this control down here? You know, it's kind of hard to find. So we're just going to take a stab at it. Not going to redesign anything that isn't strictly part of the tracker. So we're going to keep the navigation more or less the same. But we're going to see what we can do. Got the style guide as usual. Blacks, grays, need lots of grays. And the Domino's accent, an off blue accent, and their secondary red. I'm also using their custom font, which I was able to get from their website. And it is called, I think, there is One Dot. And they use that all over their site and even on their pizza boxes. That's the big square lettering that you see in multiple colors on their boxes. And yeah, we're gonna take this, and I've swapped out their body font, which they were just using base Arial, for, I believe it's Adele Sans. Yes, Adele Sans, a nice curvy sans font that we can use to kind of emulate that friendly Domino's feel and get going. So, checking out the stories as always. Like, what am I trying to actually do? I just want to know when my pizza's gonna arrive, right? I'm sitting at home. When do I put my pants on, as they say? In order to do that, I need to track the various phases of the pizza making process so I can get a rough estimate. And then I also want to track the location of the delivery driver when they actually start to depart and bring the pizza to me. If you're a complete ham like me, you want to opt into text updates so you don't even need to be sitting at your computer anymore. You can just migrate to the bed, wrap yourself in covers, and then just wait for your food to be delivered directly into your mouth. I want to be able to contact support if something goes wrong. If I notice my driver goes rogue and flies off the map, I want to be able to call the restaurant and be like, hey, what's going on? And then if I'm like hosting an event or something, I want to be able to search for other orders as well, to make sure that I can track them all simultaneously. So those are the stories. We're going to get into it. I'm going to just see if we can improve the usability of this tool by just rearranging elements on the screen and then adjusting font sizes, things like that. So should be an interesting one. Hang in there, and I'll get back to you in just a little bit. Whenever I'm doing these redesigns, I like to try and put myself in the head of the user and being a hungry pizza consumer myself recently, I know that the most important information for me is like understanding the general status of my order. And that means two things: what phase are we in, and then ultimately how long am I going to wait until the pizza is delivered. So that's the very first thing that gets designed in the upper left, and that's generally where you want to put that most important item. And here you're seeing me painstakingly recreate the various sections on the status visualizer. And this is mostly because I wanted to try and challenge myself to recreate this in Figma. But also there's a lot of affordance that Domino's customers have got with this kind of diagram, right? If you change the look and feel of this too much, you lose out on the overall efficacy of the experience. So didn't want to tweak it too much. I really liked the idea of telling the customer when the delivery driver actually left the store, but I really wanted to emphasize the time because that's really the most important piece of information here, right? So now that it's red, your eyes go straight to that. In context, you understand roughly when to expect your delivery. When I first started designing experiences, and even for a couple of years after I started, I was really hesitant to use the pen tool. I was kind of scared of it because the whole concept of like curves and bezels really threw me for a loop. And I still kind of suck with it, but I have noticed that every time I try to use the pen tool, I get a little bit better at using it, and it unlocks this whole new domain of potential things I can do with vector illustration. So really want to encourage people to give it a try, and any opportunity you get, just try and use the pen tool, and you'll be surprised at how quickly you pick it up. And maybe I'm in the minority here, but every time I'm ordering a pizza, I want to get text updates, right? I know I'm going to get signed up for some kind of spam, but the flexibility of just having updates sent directly to my phone is very important to me. And I'd imagine that applies to a lot of other users as well. So having this hidden underneath the delivery map doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Putting it in the sidebar where people can immediately see where it is definitely the go-to for this particular sub-experience. And the very last change here is I just wanted to add a simple icon to the title so that users can know exactly when a change has been made if they just simply refresh the page. Okay, there we go. I think this is the kind of interface that would really work for me in terms of actually understanding what's going on and where my pizza's at. I've solved a lot of the main design problems, meaning I have like a high-level overview immediately. The ETA is clear to me. I know when changes have been made because the icon may swap out, and I have a visual representation of kind of the flow in the map there with everything in context. And then all the secondary functions that I need to do are right here. You know, they're presented to me as the user right where I need them to be. So I'm not hunting around trying to find where I go to get text updates or call the store. It's all presented to me right here in this interface, but pushed off to the side. It's clear that I'm supposed to focus on this main tracker experience. So let me know what you think, guys. I'm honestly, I think this is a significant improvement. But I don't really know if I'm thinking very clearly right now because I'm absolutely starving. Having looked at lots of Domino's collateral trying to put this together. But yeah, this is just another example of like just changing the visual hierarchy using the size of the font weights appropriately, opacity, color, to guide the user's attention around the page in a way that makes sense to them. And I think this is, you know, a really good case study in how you don't need to radically transform something to make it a better, more functional UI. But anyway, enough about me. If you would like me to design anything in the world that you find to be hard to use or just generally crap, pop a comment down on the video and we'll see if I can get it going next week. Until then, have a lovely week and yeah, I'll talk to you next Tuesday. Bye bye.